Very good morning, everyone. Today we are going to see about the very important chapter in general pathology, that is necrosis. So today class lecture outline, we are going to discuss about the definition of necrosis and type of necrosis and its morphology and end up with the top 6 questions. So let us study about the etymology, the word meaning of the necrosis. The necrosis, the word taken from the Greek from necros. That means the word meaning is a dead body. So for our understanding, necrosis is nothing but premature cell death, or we can call it as the cell murder. So let us see about the definition from the source book. It defined as spectrum of morphological changes that follow the cell death in living tissue, largely resulting from progressive degradative action on enzyme on lethally injured cells. So here we can understand spectrum of morphological changes. So the spectrum of morphological changes means group of morphological changes that follows the cell death in living tissue. So if it is occurring, the necrosis occurring into the dead tissue, we are calling as autopsy. But here it is death occurring into the living tissue, usually resulting from degradative action on the enzyme on lethally injured cells. So there are four important points is important. Number one, spectrum of morphological changes. Next one, cell death in living tissue. And third one, degradative action on enzyme on lethally injured tissue. So these are the four important points consist of the definition of the necrosis. So let us study about the necrosis in brief. So membrane damage of the damaged cell. This is a continuation of the irreversible cell injury. As we know, the necrosis is the type of the irreversible cell injury. So the characteristic of irreversible cell injury, it is nothing but it is a membrane damage. And leakage of the cellular content from the damaged cells that introduce the inflammation leads to digestion of the cellular contents by process of the enzymatic digestion. So here the membrane damage leads to the leakage of the cellular contents from the damaged cells that produce the inflammation. Why it is produced inflammation? To eliminate the unwanted cells. Digestion of the cellular component by the process of enzymatic digestions. So this is simple understanding about the necrosis. And from this fact, we can able to identify three characteristics of the necrosis. Number one, involvement of the group of the cell. Number two, inflammation of the surrounding tissue. And number three, diagnosis by the cellular specific enzyme. So let us study about the causes of the necrosis. For our better understanding, we divide the cause into two types, genetic causes and acquired causes. Genetic causes, developmental defect, cytogenic defect, multifactorial inheritance, and single gene defects. Acquired causes, hypoxia, physical causes, chemical causes, microbial causes, immunological causes, nutritional derangement, and psychological factors. So about the causes, the detailed description is given in my previous lecture class, that is a cell injury. So if anything you want to know about the details about the different causes of the irreversible cell injury or mnemonics of the irreversible cell injury, you can go through my previous lecture class. So now let us study about the pathogenesis. There are two types of pathogenesis leads to the necrosis. Number one is denaturation of the intracellular protein. Next one, enzymatic digestion. So enzymatic digestion, for our better understanding, we divided into two types. One is autolysis, another one is the heterolysis. So autolysis means necrosis of the cell by own lysosome, it is known as autolysis, and heterolysis means necrosis of the cell by the immigrant's lysosome of the WBC. So the WBC lysosome is producing the enzymatic digestion, it is known as the heterolysis, and from the damaged cells lysosome, that means own damaged lysosome of the damaged cells is producing the autolysis. So there are two types of pathogenesis, denaturation and enzymatic digestion. So let us study about the morphology. As we studied into the definition, the group of morphological changes can able to identify is a necrosis. So that let us study in detail. So morphology, for our better understanding, we divide into two types. Cytoplasmic changes and nuclear changes. Let us study about the cytoplasmic changes. The first changes is the increased eosinophilic cytoplasm. So why it is increased eosinophilic cytoplasm? One is denatured cytoplasmic protein and loss of cytoplasmic RNA. So let us study in the diagrammatic representation. This is, you can take it from the source book. So this is the normal kidney tubule cells. You can see it here. This is the cells, and you can see the nucleus here, and you can see it here. The normal cell of the light, the cytoplasm have the light pink color, where there is, you can see it here. This portion, you can see the cytoplasm is a dark pink color, and you can see the shape also is different. So this is simple. The normal cytoplasm of the cell is a light pink color, and here it is the, in necrosis you can see there is a dark pink color. So that is known as a eosinophilic cytoplasm. Why there is eosinophilic cytoplasm? Because it is, the cytoplasm is having the protein, that is denatured cytoplasmic protein and loss of cytoplasmic RNA. This is the first changes of the necrosis. Next is glassy homogeneous appearance. So why it is glassy homogeneous appearance? That is because of loss of glycogen particles. Then third important point is vacuolated and moth-eaten appearance of the cytoplasm. So why it is happening? Because cytoplasmic organelles are digested by the lysosomal enzyme. As we studied in the pathogenesis, enzymatic digestion. So the vacuolated and moth-eaten appearance of cytoplasm is due to that cytoplasmic organelles are digested by the lysosomal enzyme. Here in this picture, you can see here the moth-eat pattern. That means irregular border of the membrane, and you can see this, everything will be eaten by the lysosomal enzyme. So that produces the moth-eaten appearance of the cytoplasm. Number 4 is world phospholipid masses. So what is the simple thing? You can see it here. There is a phospholipid masses. So why it is coming? The damaged cell membrane of necrotic cells that produce one type of masses, that is the phospholipid masses. For our understanding, we are call it as a myelin figure. So here one of the important questions will come. This formation of the phospholipid masses or origination of the phospholipid masses from the cell membrane, and this is always known as the myelin figures. Number 5, as we studied myelin figure. So these phospholipid masses either phagocytosis by the other cells or by degraded into the fatty acids, that leads to produce that combination with the calcium leads to calcification of the cell. So this is the 5 changes of the cytoplasmic changes. So this is the mnemonics. The cellular mitochondria produce energy from the glucose. So C for calcification, M for moth-eaten pattern, and P for phospholipid mass, and E for eosinophilic cytoplasm, and F for fatty acids, and G for glassy homogeneous appearance. So this is the way we can able to remember about the 6 cytoplasmic changes of the necrosis. So let us study about the nuclear changes. This is a normal cell, and there are 3 type of nuclear changes happening in the necrosis. Number 1 is the pycnosis, number 2 is the choriorrhexis, and third one it is the choriolysis. So pycnosis means shrinkage of the nucleus, and choriorrhexis means fragmentation of the nucleus. You can see it here, fragmentation, and here it is a shrinkage, and choriolysis means dissolution of the nucleus. So these are 3 changes of the nuclear changes of the you can see it in the necrosis. So now let us study about the type of necrosis. Totally we have 6 types: coagulative necrosis, liqueficative necrosis, gangrenous necrosis, caseous necrosis, fat necrosis, and fibrinoid necrosis. Out of this 6 type of necrosis, gangrenous necrosis and fibrinoid necrosis is not the true type of necrosis. So that we'll study one by one. Now we'll study about the coagulative necrosis. So coagulative necrosis mainly caused by the hypoxia or ischemia or infarction. So the main cause of the coagulative necrosis is the hypoxia. The common organ is all solid organ produce the coagulative necrosis except brain. This is a very important to remember. So some of the common organ, it is a heart, liver, kidney, and spleen. And The coagulative necrosis pathology is mainly due to the denaturation of the protein and enzymatic digestion of the damaged cells. So let us see about the macroscopic, very important macroscopic finding. The coagulative necrotic area are presence of the wedge shape. You can see it here. This is the wedge shaped pattern, and the base is pale segment and apex is made up of occlude blood vessels. So this is a very important macroscopic finding, and microscopic finding, it's a very important for the MCQ or further examinations. Necrotic cells become tombstone appearance. What is tombstone appearance? Tombstone appearance means outside of the cells are preserved. That means if you take, this is the normal cells, it is a present inside, it is a nucleus, and there is a cytoplasmic organelles, everything will be there. But what happen in the tombstone appearance, there is a outline of the cell will be thing, there is a no nucleus, or sometimes there is a karyorrhexis or fragmentation of the nucleus may be present, and all the cellular organelles will be digested by the lysosomal enzyme. So only the outline of the cell are preserved. That is known as the tombstone appearance. Next is coagulative necrosis occur in the hypoxic cell death in the all the tissue except brine. So this is a very important for the future classes. Hypoxic coagulative necrosis occur in the hypoxic cell death of the cell in all tissue except brine. Here you can see it here. Necrotic cell become tombstone appearance. You can see it here. This is the cells. This the outline is preserved. This cell is outline is preserved. This all the cells outline is preserved. But inside you cannot see any cytoplasmic organelles or nucleus or other thing. So this is known as the tombstone appearance of the cell. So simple understanding, tombstone appearance means outline of the cells are preserved. And next one you can see the loss of nuclei. That means you can see here the nucleus will be absent. So the ghost cell means the cell present without nucleus. It is known as the ghost cell. Examples: coagulative necrosis occur in the ischemia in the solid organ like heart, liver, kidney and spleen. And the greatest example of coagulative necrosis is the myocardial infarctions. Very important for the MCQ questions. So now let us study about the liqueficative necrosis. So liqueficative necrosis mainly due to the hypoxic cell death in CNS and microbial infections. Common organ is brain, and mainly due to the enzymatic digestion, that is a hydrolytic enzyme as we know, enzymatic digestion of the dead cell resulting in transformation of the tissue into the liquid mass. So the brain tissue will become the liquid mass that leads to liqueficative necrosis. Macroscopic finding, you can see it here. This is this part. Liqueficative necrosis is the creamy yellow color due to presence of the pus. Very important to remember. So it is a liqueficative necrosis area is the creamy yellow color due to the presence of the pus. So here the questions will come: why in the brain the coagulative necrosis is not happening? It's a very simple answer. All the solid tissue is having the collagen fiber. Where there is the CNS or in the brain, there is a lack of collagen fibers. Instead of collagen fiber, there is the presence of the myelin sheath. So myelin sheath containing more fat, so that leads to liquefaction of those substance, leads to or plus infection. So that produce the pus. That pus is the semi-solid in character. So that produce the liquid mass. So the liquid mass we are known as the liqueficative necrosis. Microscopic finding, you can see the affected area become liquefied in the center, which contain necrotic debris and inflammatory cells. This part you can see there is a presence of the liquid mass. So examples of liqueficative necrosis: brain abscess and ischemic necrosis of the brain. Very important to know the examples of the liqueficative necrosis. Brain abscess, we have seen about the one of the examples of coagulative necrosis is the myocardial infarction, and one of the examples of the liqueficative necrosis is the brain abscess. So let us see about the gangrenous necrosis. As I told you, it is not a definite type of the necrosis, but here we are calling as the gangrenous necrosis. So it is not a specific pattern of the cell death. And common site is the lower limb. There are three types of the gangrenous necrosis. Number one is the dry necrosis. Number two is the wet necrosis. Number three is the gas necrosis. Dry necrosis is nothing but dead. The tissue of the gangrene is dry. And wet necrosis is the tissue of the gangrene will be wet and along with the bacterial infections. And gas gangrene is the type of the wet gangrene infected with the gas forming bacteria, that is a Clostridium group of the bacteria. So let us study dry gangrene, wet gangrene and gas gangrene in brief. Dry gangrene, the site of the dry gangrene is the distal part of the lower limb due to ischemia, and causes is usually atherosclerosis and trauma. And morphology of the dry gangrene, the affected part is a dry, shrunken and dark black, look like a mummified food. The affected part become dark black color is due to accumulation of the hydrogen disulfide and presence of the line of separation between the necrotic tissue and surrounding healthy tissues. Let us study about the wet gangrene. The site usually the organ with the venous blockage or both venous and arterial blockage happening into the bowel, lung, mouth, cervix and vulva. And cause of the wet gangrene here it is the diabetic foot and bed sores. And morphology is very simple. The affected part is the soft, swollen and putrefied, offensive and dark, and here absence of the line of separations. Gas gangrene, I am going to take about the gas gangrene in separate chapter, but here I am giving only the brief. The site, the organ with the venous blockage or both venous arterial blockage, either everywhere, and the affected part is the swollen, edematous, painful, presence of crepitations due to the gas bubbles into the tissues. So let us study in the three with the differentiating points. It's very easy to remember. The type of necrosis, here it is a gangrene is a secondary gangrene, and wet gangrene is also it's a type of secondary gangrene, where there is a gas gangrene is a primary gangrene. What is difference between primary gangrene and secondary gangrene? Primary gangrene means the gangrene is gangrene plus production by the bacteria cause is the same. Secondary gangrene is by different causes and bacterial infection by the different other causes. So in the detailed description, the next class I am going to describe about the detailed description about the gangrene, but here I am giving the only the necrotic part, gangrenous necrotic part. Onset is gradual in case of dry gangrene and rapid in case of wet gangrene and gas gangrene. Location in case of dry gangrene is the limb, and wet and gas gangrene, bowel in case of wet gangrene and limb in case of gas gangrene. And cause is arterial occlusion in case of dry gangrene and venous occlusion in case of wet gangrene. Clostridium group of gram positive bacteria in case of gas gangrene. And type of necrosis is the coagulative necrosis in case of dry gangrene and liqueficative necrosis happening into the wet gangrene and gas gangrene. Very important points for the MCQs. Macroscopy, you can see the dry, dark block look like a mummified food in case of dry gangrene, and soft, swollen, putrefied, offensive and dark in case of wet gangrene, and red, pale and cold and thumb in case of gas gangrene. And microscopy, the affected part is firm consistency in case of dry gangrene, and the affected part is soft consistency in case of wet gangrene. And presence of anaerobic bacteria and inflammatory reaction you can see under the gas gangrene. And very important clinical finding, it is the line of separations. So the line of separation is present in case of dry gangrene, where there is absent in case of wet gangrene and gas gangrene. Very important for the MCQ. What is line of separation? You can see it here. Suppose it is happening into the limb. So here it is the mummified tissues. There is a tissue will be mummified. This is the necrotic gangrenous necrosis, and here it is the normal tissues. So between normal tissue and necrotic tissue, there is a presence of the some line. You can see it into the clinical. This line we can see it in the dry gangrene, where there is absent in case of wet gangrene and gas gangrene. So that's the difference between dry gangrene, wet gangrene and gas. So let us study about the caseous necrosis. It found in the center of the foci of tubercular infections. Common organ, it is a lung. Caseous necrosis is the combination of the coagulative necrosis and liqueficative necrosis. Here the questions of the most of the time MCQ questions. Caseous necrosis is the combination of the coagulative and liqueficative necrosis. Suppose in the MCQ they ask caseous necrosis is the type of coagulative. Number 1 is coagulative, number 2 is the liqueficative, and number 3 is none, and number 4 is other type of necrosis, fibrinous necrosis, something. So your answer should be coagulative necrosis. So in caseous necrosis, more coagulative necrosis than the liqueficative necrosis. Let us see about the macroscopy. So here, this part, you can see, this part is the caseous necrotic area is a yellow, white and cheesy debris. This is a very important finding of the caseous necrosis. So the word meaning of caseous means is cheesy. So that is the reason the affected part will become yellow, white and cheesy debris. And microscopy, you can see the presence of granuloma. Here I am not talking about the granuloma. So when it comes to the chronic infection chapter, I will take about what is granuloma in detail. So we'll go for the next fifth type, that is a fat necrosis. It is nothing but the focal area of the fat destruction. There are two types of fat necrosis. One is inflammatory fat necrosis, another one is the traumatic fat necrosis. So traumatic fat necrosis, nothing but necrosis of the fat area like a breast and thigh, etc. So let us study about the pathogenesis in simple. Inflammatory fat necrosis in case of acute pancreatitis that produce the pancreatic lipase. So that pancreatic lipase split the triglyceride into the free fatty acid and glycerol. So this will go for the sulfonification, leads to the fat necrosis. So another type is known as the traumatic fat necrosis. It's happening into the mammary gland and to the thigh. So that leads to splitting of the triglyceride into the free fatty acid and glycerol, then leads to the sulfonification. So this is a simple pathogen. This leads to the fat necrosis. Sulfonification leads to the fat necrosis. So this is a simple pathogenesis of the fat necrosis. Macroscopy of the fat necrosis, you can see this part. Fat necrosis looks like a chalky, white and firm deposits. This is a very important findings of the fat necrosis. And microscopic finding, the necrosis take form of shady outline. So there are three characteristics. Number is presence of the necrotic tissue, and next is the inside the necrotic tissue there is a presence of the calcium deposit. We are calling as the basophilic calcium deposit. And third one, there is a presence of the inflammatory cells. You can see here is the neutrophil and this is the monocyte and lymphocytes, everything. So this is a microscopic finding. So you can see outlines of the necrotic fat cells with the basophilic calcium deposit surrounded by the inflammatory reactions. So let us study about the last type of necrosis, that is a fibroid necrosis. Location is in the blood vessels. The cause of the necrosis is mainly due to the immune reactions involving the blood vessels leads to antigen antibody complex deposition along with the fibrin or leaked out of the vessel, which produce the bright pink amorphous appearance of the when we are staining. So fibrin necrosis is the not the proper type of the or specific type of necrosis. So why you are calling as a fibrin necrosis means fibrin like substance we can see in the lesions, fibrin like substance. So where we can see into the blood vessels. So why we can see? Because of antigen antibody reactions. This is simple understanding. So microscopic finding, you can see there is this is the one, this is the simple thing, you can see it here. This is the fibrin like, you can see it, the color, it is the bright pink area in the area of the necrosis with the inflammations, neutrophil, and here you can see this and all the neutrophil. So this everything we can see of the microscopic findings. So examples of necrosis, fibroid necrosis is the malignant hypertension, acute rheumatic fever. So that's about the necrosis. So here I am giving the necrosis summary. So necrosis means spectrum of morphological changes that follow the cell death in living tissue, largely resulting from progressive degradative action of the enzyme on lethally injured cells. The characteristic of necrosis is involvement of the group of the cells, presence of inflammation, and diagnosed by identification of the specific enzyme on those tissues. And the necrosis pathogenesis are two: denaturation of the intracellular protein and enzymatic digestions. And there are 6 types of necrosis. Out of that, gangrenous necrosis and fibrinous necrosis is the not specific type of necrosis. Coagulative necrosis produces the tombstone appearance of the cell. Liqueficative necrosis produces the creamy yellow color in macroscopy. Gangrenous necrosis can be identified by the type of necrosis can be identified with the line of separation, whether it is a wet gangrene or dry gangrene. And caseous necrosis macroscopic producing GC white. Fat necrosis produces a chalky white appearance in the macroscopy, and fibrinous necrosis produces a homogeneous pink color appearance into the microscopic finding. So that's the end of today's class. So here I am giving the top 6 questions from the collection from the different UPSC and all other examinations. So try to answer in the YouTube comment box. Necrosis of the first question. Necrosis of the cell is due to number 1, deposition of the fat, number 2, accumulation of the water, number 3, enzymatic digestion, number 4 is none. Type 2, question number 2, myocardial infarction is the type of number 1, coagulative necrosis, number 2, fat necrosis, number 3, liqueficative necrosis, number 4, caseous necrosis. Question number 3, liqueficative necrosis seen in liver, number 1, number 2 is the lung, number 3 is the heart, number 4 is brain. And question number 4, the type of gangrene in diabetic foot is number 1, dry gangrene, number 2, gas gangrene, number 3 is a wet gangrene, number 4 is all of the above. Question number 5, caseous necrosis occur in number 1, lung, number 2, liver, number 3, brain, number 4, spleen. Last question, fat necrosis is common in number 1, breast, number 2, acute pancreatitis, number 3, omentum, number 4, all of the above. So put the correct answer in YouTube comment box. So after 2-3 days I will just give the proper answer into the YouTube comment box. So study well. So these are my reference. Without this reference, this class may not be fulfilled properly. So thanks to those reference books, and without this reference, this class might have been not fruitful for the student. So thanks to once all, thanks. That is the end of my class. So always I quote the word, knowledge is our power. So study well. So next class I am going to discuss about the apoptosis. So thanks to all.